Long before Marie Kondo was sparking joy through tidying up, Monica Nassif made cleaning aspirational. She didn't just build a brand, she created a new category of upscale cleaning products. But being an entrepreneur wasn't something she dreamed about or even knew about as a kid growing up in a big family in the small town of Granger, Iowa.
You know, my mom really believed in the confidence of a paycheck. She always said that. She goes, if you have a job, you can do anything. So the minute we could get a job, and I lied about my age to get my first job, we were out of the house. And that was a gift, really, because the house was crowded. There was a lot going on.
She went to nursing school, but quickly realized it wasn't for her and went back to the University of Minnesota for an English degree. She landed a job as a speechwriter for Dayton's.
It was the premier department store. It was a beautiful store. I was just an honor to work there. And one reason I loved Dayton's is they loved the customer. They really respected the consumer, how she thought about trends and apparel, and you know, the customer was always right. And there was a real high regard for being ahead of trend, respecting consumers, and I learned a lot from that culture.
Monica parlayed that experience into a marketing agency of her own. But helping clients build brands made her want to create something herself.
You know, it would be really fun if I could find a product that would be, you know, on the assembly line when I sleep at night.
Inspiration struck on a business trip to Atlanta when she stumbled upon a huge pallet of cleaning products.
I remember looking at that going, gosh, that is so pathetic. What if that was great? I mean, what if the bottles didn't look like machine guns and they didn't smell like bleach, and what if it could be like a Veda? That's what I kept thinking. What if it could be like a Veda? That would be so fabulous. So I got on the plane and I wrote down my business plan. I still have it. It's a one-sheeter with same fragrances, what the items were, how you could build an entire category. Because the other thing that was happening at the time was that all these commodity categories were moving upstream. You know, if you think of shampoo was moving upstream, pet food, coffee. And no one had really thought about cleaning, you know, in terms of a premium category. And I thought, if we could just tear off a little piece of this multi-billion-dollar industry, we would have a pretty significant business.
She began researching the market, visiting grocery stores, comparing prices, formulating products. She called it Caldrea, a combination of her daughter's names.
Minneapolis is a fantastic place to start a business, especially consumer product. You have some of the biggest names here. So little did I didn't know this before I got started, but there's a lot of experts in how to put liquids in bottles.
But raising money is a different story.
Raising money is probably one of the most difficult challenges for an entrepreneur. First of all, there's not a lot of women doing it. And all the people that you go ask money for are typically white guys in their 60s who have never done dishes or wiped off a countertop. So when you walk in with cleaning products, honestly, they look at you if you're crazy. And my strategy was, when I would go see an investor, was, hey, I'm not asking you for money. I would just like 3 names. And then I'd stand up, pack up my samples, and walk away. And they go, well, what if I want to invest? Because everybody wants what they can't have.
Raising her first round took 7 months. The second round took 7 days. Launched in 2000, Caldrea was a quick hit. Stores around the country wanted refills. Retailers like Williams-Sonoma hired Caldrea to produce private label lines. But Monica knew there was an even bigger opportunity.
After we realized Caldrea was having some success at the specialty store level, we thought, man, we better knock off ourselves before someone else does, because we just thought it was such a good idea. So we thought, oh, the brand has to be Midwestern, has to be wholesome. Let's think about all these herbs coming out of the garden. And then it was, this just sounds like your mom. So then, of course, we thought, yeah, it could be Mrs. Meyer. So I called my mom, who's a housewife. I said, hey, Mom, do you want to be a brand? And she goes, what's a brand? And I said, well, I'll explain it to you, but here's what we're thinking.
Her mom, the real Mrs. Myers, loved the idea.
Oh, she was using Caldrea, but she did say to me, she goes, this is too expensive. I could never afford this.
With its broader reach, Mrs. Myers Clean Day became the company's rocket ship. In 2008, she sold to S.C. Johnson for an undisclosed amount. These days, Monica devotes her time to advising other entrepreneurs and giving back, particularly to the Walker Arts Center, where she served as board president. But once a founder, always a founder.
Oh yeah, when I walk into Target and Whole Foods, I'm still straightening out the bottles. You know, I used to take my kids and their friends in high school, and we would go out for Saturdays, and I'd pay them a couple dollars. So they would pull the product forwards, you know, make sure all the nozzles were facing one direction, and yeah, you look at it and you think, oh, that's my baby.